responsibilities for surgical services, including sterile processing. Prior to becoming an independent consultant, she worked for Advanced Sterilization with Johnson & Johnson Company, where she was an internal clinical consultant. She has presented topics related to processing of surgical instruments in more than 17 countries and is the author of 2 textbooks and more than 75 articles. She has also been the lead author of 3 AORN recommendation practices related to instrument processing. Ms. Fry was president of the National AORN, and she's currently the co-chair of WG40, which is ST79. The committee responsibilities for development of ST79, comprehensive guide to steam sterilization, sterility assurance, and healthcare. ST79 provides the U.S. guidelines for processing of surgical instruments. She holds a master's degree in both education and nursing. And Cheryl actually would like to talk about Sylvia.
So whenever I first became an operating room nurse, I had been a labor and delivery nurse, and I came into the operating room in 1989, and they used this book to help orient me. This book was written by Cynthia Spry in 1988, and the first 2 chapters in the book are sterilization and disinfection, and preparation, packaging, and storage of sterile supplies. So when we tell you that your next speaker wrote the book, we are not kidding. Cynthia Spry.
The bad news is you have another hour to go, and the good news is only 1 more hour to go, and then you get to leave or do whatever. But I just want to say thank you for being invited to come here. I look at the speakers that spoke before me, and I feel honored to be among that group. Really, really good, fun, good, smart, and I'm happy and pleased that I can be part of that. So we're going to talk about risk assessment. It sounds kind of like a tough topic at the end of the day. I'm going to try to make it pretty easy for you. Well, it's sort of a 2-part presentation. We're going to talk about why you should do a risk assessment, how you do one, and then we'll talk about some of the things you might consider. I picked out some hot topics that I think might be something you want to think about for best practice. So there's the title. This is disclosure. These are the people that I have some contracts with and do things for them. And please note the bottom line, which says I want to thank 3M for sponsoring me to come here. I do not live in Massachusetts, I live in New York, and they sponsored me to come here and present to you, so thank you to 3M. Okay, 3 objectives. First, we're going to talk about what is the imperative to perform a risk assessment, how do you do a risk assessment in sterile processing or any other department. It really is pretty much the same, it doesn't matter which department. And then we'll talk about some best practice issues that you might want to consider for doing a risk assessment.